Well, good morning, everyone. Happy Wednesday. I am back again. My table's looking a little light. Didn't get a whole lot done because when I get an idea in my head, I have to run with it. And I have to keep doing it till I get it right. So we're going to talk about that. And then I had been wanting a light purple, and I found it. I told you guys I found the purple on Amazon in a Bernat baby at a reasonably good price. And very pleasantly surprised that when it got here, it was nice and soft. So I was able to do my purple project. And then, as far as market prepping went, I really only made 2 items that would be considered market prep. Just happens like that sometimes. So, the first thing that I started on Sunday, was my purple project. And you'll notice that Ketchup is missing. I took her down so that I can add her bow. I still haven't done it because I just did it this morning. I took her down and moved her over to my workspace so that she's right in front of my face so that I remember to put her little white bow on her. And then she will be 100% complete. I already packaged. I should have took a picture so I could show you. Completed the Crochet plush, which is sold, by the way. Kathy, she is all packaged and ready. The only thing I needed to add to that was the little pink skull and the little pink nose. And I was waiting for the felt, and I finally got the felt. But I was looking for the little dies, an alphabet die that I could use with that little mini die cut thing. And I came across this Halloween die set that was for a skeleton. And it had the perfect little skull. So I bought that. It was like $3.49. So I had to cut those out and get them positioned on that plush so that it could be shipped out. So it's all ready. That is complete. So once I get all these little things out of the way, well, like Crochet is done, but I've got to add the bow ketchup, and I can say it's 100% complete. I've got a mountain to get priced now, and I haven't started on that. I need to. But so I went ahead and started on my purple project. And in case you didn't know this about me, purple is my favorite color. Yeah. So my purple project very much has something to do with ketchup and what's her name? Molly. So it is, I used the same pattern, but modified it with colors for, the skin tone and the clothing and all that. And I made another duck villager. I think these things are just so cute. I'm sitting there looking at all the different villager ducks. Some of them look like they'd be difficult, especially the clothing because of the patterns that is on it. I'm not sure that I could do that because some of them are like zigzag. And I'm like, well, you could probably incorporate some mosaic. And I'm like, no, now we're talking too much time and way too much thought. It would just be very frustrating. But Mallory looked like she'd be pretty simple. And there's one other one that might be if I can figure out how to do the tank top. So sitting here looking at Mallory, I realized, well, she's not 100% yet. I forgot to do one thing. But here's Mallory in her snooty, little stuck-up glory. What I forgot to do is I left a row of front loop here to add some more white to make it have a white band like the sleeves. Not a big deal. I can do that pretty quick. So the most challenging part about this were these eyes. Trying to get them to look right. People who have that Cricut, I think that's how it's pronounced, Cricut, Circuit, whatever, they're lucky. If I had one, I wouldn't even know how to use it. I'm fine with my little die cut thing and basic shapes. You know, it still might limit me on what kind of eyes, but I can do felt eyes now. If there's not a ton of colors in it, you know, because it starts to get thick with the felt. But just a couple of colors and it's fine. I imagine I could get the heat vinyl and just, you know, like use an iron to put it on instead of having to have a heat press. Seems like it would work. I mean, I don't know. I've never done it before. But, so Mallory wears a striped shirt. She wears a brown eyeshadow. So I had to figure out the eyes on my own. I had to figure out how to do the hair on my own. Do the, change the clothes. Now she wears just a shirt, not a dress. And at least in the pictures that I saw. Those little critters on that game are so darn cute. I'm like, I really, really, really want the rhinoceros pattern. And the only ones I've found that I've come across looking for it are all in acrylic with a whole bunch of rows or cotton. I don't know that it's acrylic, but it's not plushy yarn. With a ton of rows. So, I mean, the head would be like huge. So, I mean, I can only envision it coming out to being as big as a small human. But I really like Mallory. I like how she turned out. So I'll have to set her next to Ketchup on my workspace so that I remember. Do that one round on the bottom so that it ends up thicker. But isn't she just... I really like this pattern. And it really doesn't take that long to work up. Now, and like I said before, I did make one change. I crocheted in the legs instead of sewing them on. And you crochet in the arms anyways. So that left me with the only sewing, and I closed the head instead of leaving it open. That left me with only sewing on the head and the beak to the head. And then this headpiece. So this one was fairly quick. So I got that made. And then I'm sitting there replying to comments, and I am so far behind on comments. I try to get some done each day, and then it's like, I just cleared them all out, and here's some more. But I love it. Don't stop. Don't stop. But I'm reading the comments, and on the Oak and Marlowe's Fable collection, The Mouse and the Rabbit that I showed in my last video, a couple people suggested put the overalls on the mouse and give it a cookie. And I had mentioned that to Jenna, and she goes, oh yeah, there's a book out there if you give a mouse a cookie. And I'm like, okay. So I'm like, well, cookie can't be that hard to figure out. So I made a cookie and attached it to this mouse. But that wasn't good enough for me. The face just does not look like a mouse face to me. It's too round. But I mean, it's simple. But it has to look like a mouse to me. I think I did a good job with the cookie. So I decided I need to figure out how to do a mouse head. So I started playing with it, and this was the first head I came up with. Now, I didn't like weave in the ends or anything because his nose was just a little too long for me. Now, if I made it longer and changed up the ears, it would be a great elephant head, just a little bit longer. So you never know. I might be playing with that. So I went back to the drawing board. And made another mouse head. Did the little snout, muzzle, nose, whatever you want to call it. Made that just a little bit shorter. And I really liked how that head turned out. So I made it a body. Using the overalls, and gave it a cookie and came up with this. See, this nose is a lot shorter than that nose. I showed this to Jenna, and she's like, the head's great, the cookie's great, but the legs are too long. John said the same thing, and in my mind, I'm saying the same thing. The legs are too long. And I'm like, well, I could shorten the legs, you know, like, just make them shorter. And I was like, no. I need to come up with my own body. So I did. But before I started playing with coming up with a body, I'm like, I need to make something for market. So I pulled out Darling Maple Designs flamingo pattern and made a flamingo. This time I had the correct colors because it calls for peach. Last time I had to use light pink. I think I actually liked the light pink better than the colors that the pattern said. But usually I like to, the first time I do a pattern, do it the way the pattern says. And because I didn't have the peach last time, I was like, I'll do it this time. So we did. And still get confused on it. And I know it's only my second one and it's been a little bit of time in between. But the way that it's written, it's like, here's option 1, here's option 2. And it's all in line instead of being separated out. Like, copy and paste is a wonderful thing. Like, have it like 2 separate patterns in the same thing. Like, the sewing versus the non-sewing. I got lost easily on it. I knew it was coming, so I knew to be looking for it. But it was still, because it, you know, is all in the same line, it doesn't flow, if that makes any sense. But it's a cute pattern. You just have to, I guess I could go through before I start and highlight the parts that, okay, I'm supposed to be on this when I get to it, and I'm supposed to be on this when I get to it, instead of like trying to figure out where am I at. I mean, that makes sense, right? So we have the little flamingo to take to market. We did that. And then I was like, okay, I made a market item. Now I can play with the body. So I started off wanting shorter legs and ended up with a whole different body style. But still wearing overalls and still giving it a cookie. So there's his back. Here's his front. So I made it like this. And he's kind of small. In yarn under. It's a nice size with yarn over. I'll show you that in a minute. But so I made this, and I took it and I showed Jenna, and she's like, that's perfect. It looks just like the book. And I'm like, it does? So we pulled up the book, and it very much does look like the mouse in the book. And And I feel like I must live like a very sheltered life, because I have never, ever heard of the book or the whole series of books. Like, there was one that I can remember off the top of my head, just like If You Give a Pig a Pancake. But there's several of them, different animals, and if you give them something, and then I don't even know what the story's about. But this turned out, I think, so cute. So then I was debating, because I took notes, should I write it up as a pattern? I don't know. So I was like, all right, we played with that. Now we got to get back to making something for market. And I'm telling you, when my mind gets on something, it's very hard for me not to stay with that until I get it right. So I'm like, what can I make this easy, that if I get distracted because of this mouse, that I can't mess it up too badly? And I can still do that. So I was like, I sold out of the yellow mini birds at the last market, so we made a few of those. And when I get to the third one, I'm getting low on yellow, and I have like, oh, I don't know, maybe a yard of the orange left. I think that I'm out of orange now, and for orange I'll have to use mango in the Parfait Chunky. I think. I don't know, I'll have to look. But, so I only have that little bit left, and I'm like, oh, that'll be enough to do another chick. And I'm working along, and I get to the little wings, and I'm working, and I'm like, okay, I need to get some more yellow because I ran out of yellow. And I'm looking at it going, why does this look weird? Because my mind is on a mouse, not on a mini bird. I did the wings in orange, so I had to frog all that out. Save that little bit of orange. So I gently frogged that so that I could complete the third bird. So, I know, more birds. Why so many birds? Yeah, so we made these. And then I went right back to the mouse. So this time, I have my notes, and I took the time to type up my notes, try to put it in an easy flow order. And then I printed that out so that as I make the next one and take pictures, I can make notes and then, you know, add or take away or whatever I needed to do to hopefully get it right the first time and not have corrections, which, by the way, there was already a correction found by one of the testers. And I'm looking at it going, don't ask me where I got that from, because that totally doesn't add up. But it's fixed now. Thank you, Tracy. So I started to make another one. Was taking my pictures. This one I used a safety nose on, and I did pink, and I went back to the darker brown cookie because I didn't care for this one. This one looks more like raw cookie dough than a cooked cookie. So I'm probably going to take this off and make a darker cookie for this one. So we did this one yarn over and used blush. I don't know what they call this color. This is the Chenille Brights. It's a tan. Maybe it's sand. I'm so bad with the color names. But we did it in yarn over, and it comes out considerably bigger. That's probably an extra 2 inches, maybe. So what I noticed with this yarn, while you can see the stitches, you don't really see the stitch definition like you do in, say, Parfait Chunky. So I am fine with doing yarn over. I just have to be careful with my tension. If I do yarn over, I might have to go down a hook size. I'm not sure what that would, like go from a 6 to a 5.5 if I do yarn over. I'm not sure how much that would affect the size. Don't know. So I'll probably have to test that out. So I get to make another mouse. But yeah, so we did this one, and then I'm watching, what was I doing? I was watching Stacy's live last night while I was making another one. But before I started on the next one, I went in and put in, took my notes and put it into the pattern, took my pictures, got them all edited such as they are. I am not a professional photographer, but I think they are okay. And I put them in with the different sections of the pattern. And I'm like, I really want to make another mouse. So during Stacy's live, I was working on this before I got a phone call and had to leave the live to take my phone call, which I don't get many of in my sheltered life that I have. So when a friend calls, I like to talk to them. So I made another mouse. And this one did not get a safety nose. I did the embroidered nose. And gave them a cookie. But on this one, I was like, I like the cookie in the front like this instead of hanging off the arm like that. See, this cookie looks so much better. This looks like cookie dough. That one looks cooked. So on this one, I skipped doing the little pocket. But I can lift this up. I think I'm going to go ahead and sew the pocket on because it is supposed to be a pair of overalls. And this one I did with the sage green. I really, really like this color. I've had it for a little while, but I haven't had the need to use it until recently. And I really like this color of the sage green. And it looks really good with whatever this tan color is. The brown is caramel. And the chocolate chips are Parfait Chunky Espresso, I think it's called. And the little pink nose is Dollar Tree yarn, chenille yarn, the pink. But this one, I decided, let me give it colored eyes. Well, since I was going to use the sage green, I gave it the green eyes. And either way, I think they look cute. Now, these are a little bit bigger. These, I used a 12 millimeter, because mice have beady little eyes. But you can definitely go bigger. So I want to say that these are 16 millimeter. Don't quote me. I'm not 100% sure. It's one of those that came in an assorted package and has those awful dome backs on it. So I don't use them very often unless I can find another back that I have that I can put on it. But I pounded these in. But yeah, I'm definitely going to go back and add the patch to this. But I just think it is adorable. When you put your mind to something and you don't give up, I love it. I love this. So thank you to whoever suggested put the mouse in a pair of overalls and give it a cookie. And then to John and Jenna and myself for saying it needs shorter legs. On the ballerina mouse, yes, ballerina mouse, the long legs are perfect. They look like they belong. But on this, with the overalls, no. Even the rabbit, it looks like they belong. But I do like my face better. I like my mouse head much better. It looks like a mouse. So today on my agenda is add the white band to Mallory, attach the bow to Ketchup, and I'm going to make another mouse, maybe two, and I have to take care of something because I have company coming tomorrow, so I need to do a little bit of cleaning, so I really won't get a whole lot made. So I think I need to do the cleaning first. That way I don't get like all wrapped up in what I'm making and then, oh no, it's too late. I can't do it. I'm tired. You know, that type of thing. But yeah, I need to, if you have pets, you know what it's like. It's a constant battle with pet hair. So I need to vacuum real good and do some laundry. Put this yarn away that I haven't done yet. You know, little things. It won't take long. A couple hours and then I'm good to go. So I am going to go and take care of that so I can make myself another mouse. And the testers have the pattern already, so this will be coming soon. Maybe this weekend, no promises, but it'll be coming soon. And I just love him. I think I did a great job on my mice, my niece. Embroidered or safety? What is your favorite? And we're going to say goodbye at that.